stopping mid-sentence there. I had to just deal with something. So let me just share where we are. So we're talking about online advertising, and our targeting is much tighter, as we said, and you can target your customers directly. You can be very specific with your target audience. So you have to have done your research and know exactly who your target audience are. So with television audience, you would have to be quite vague, and you plan your ads. You can say, well, I want to be on that channel, Sky Sports, and during the ad break of X, Y, or Z programs or matches or whatever it is. With Facebook, we can say, I want to reach 18 to 22-year-old females in a 3-mile radius of the Blanchardstown campus who also attended Electric Picnic last year. So that is really targeted demographic there. So the online platforms allow you to target by all these factors and get it down to the exact people who you think will want this product or service that you're selling or advertising. So Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter allow you to plug this detail into your booking information so you can directly target the right audience. Also, from a design point of view, there are also a lot of formats, from text only to imagery to text to video and so on. Online advertising can have a rich and interactive forms of advertising, so you can use games or competitions and all sorts of entertainment. Another advantage is that your audience clicks on the ad, they'll come straight to your website. So it's bringing them directly into your online store. You can track everything, so you know which ads, which posts were bringing people in and which were not very effective. So number of clicks on each post and so on, time spent on the website once they got there, number of different pages on the website they visited, duration they spent on each page, bounce rates, and the bounce pages. So they spent time on some pages but bounced out of others. Now, looking at paid search, that represents nearly 50% of online advertisements. So Google's revenue is almost 100% made up from advertising revenue. So people paying to boost their posts. When you put in a search term, that their one comes up on the first page. So search advertisements are the ads that appear in the SERPs. So this means search engine ranking pages. That's the page where when you search for campsites in France, what is the answer? What's that list that you get? When someone uses a a keyword that you've paid for, your website will appear at the top of the page with the word ad over it. You only pay if the person actually clicks on your ad. Normally, it's going to bring to some part of your website. And so it's also known as PPC, or pay per click. So a paid search or pay per click. So you maximize your chances of getting your ad and your website shown to the right prospects. So these are the advantages of using this type of advertising. You use a form of advertising called pull advertising. This is the consumer is asking for the information, they pull it. So they're putting in the search term, meaning they want this information. You get immediate results. You can track everything. You go from 700 to 1 in the SERPs in a matter of seconds because they're specifically looking for your stuff, perhaps, and you're increasing your brand awareness. So if X can afford to pay to be at the top of the rankings, they must be doing well. So people tend to trust that ranking page. As I said before, how many people actually turn the page and click to see the next 10 or the next 50 pages? Typically, we don't turn the page, we just look at that first page of rankings. But if you scroll down, you'll see there's probably 10,000 options. If you keep clicking page after page after page, there'll still be listings. So you get to target people who are interested in your keywords. So if you are a plumber in Clontarf, you can use the keywords plumber and North County Dublin, for instance, assuming that people might put in where they are when they're doing a search. Other advantages, you receive a lot of information about your target audience. So lifestyle might believe that their target audience for running shoes is 18 to 25-year-old males. But when they find their results from the clicks and so on, they can see that those that are searching are actually 40 to 55-year-old females, and they're getting more clicks from them and searches. So you can get a detailed breakdown of who is using those search terms and so on, because it's all there. Everything online is trackable and you can get that data if you know how to look for it. So you get to set your budget. At the beginning, when you're setting all this up, you can say, okay, we want to spend 500 quid. We're not talking huge money. We're not talking in the millions or thousands or whatever. You can set your budget at €2 a day over the next week. You can set it quite low if you wish. Once this money is spent, the campaign is over. So you can say, we'll pay up to 70 cent per click, and a maximum of €2 per day. So that's that's only giving you 3 clicks, or less. But you get the idea. You can be really specific with what, and you can test the water. You can kind of give it a week and say, right, with 50 quid, let's spend 50 quid over the next week. So even small businesses can get in on this. So once the money is spent, as I said, the campaign is over. So that money, you'd have to set it up again after that if you want to see how it's going. You might set it up differently for different key terms, and then see which of the terms performed better at the end of the week, and then maybe use that one and spend more money on that one the following week. So it's deemed to be successful if a reasonable amount of people click on the ad. And you can localize your ad. So again, the same plumber could specifically target people in Dublin 3. So ads are non-visual. So the disadvantages, we're into now. They're non-visual, so it's just a list. Little opportunity to use your branding. Once you pull your ad money, so once you stop, your company goes back to the original place in the SERPs. So if we said that it was naturally going to just be number 700 in the list before you were paying to boost the posts, then it'll go back to 700 after that week. As a consumer, if I go to the search, if I go to search for you again and you do not come up, I'll be disappointed and may turn to your competition. So I might have been looking up runners last week, and now actually I'm ready to buy them now, and I'm looking for them again because I didn't really take any note of what the website was and so on. And it's not coming up. I don't see it when I search this week, and I'm not getting the same results that I got last week. So consumers know that you've paid to be the top rankings. They see the word ad, so sometimes they might be less likely to click on the ads. Some people will skip over the ones that have ad after them, and they'll go down to the next ones that are the organic search results. So the ones that naturally came to the top without paying extra. So the cost of the ads is not transparent, as they're based on Google algorithms and a QR, a quality rating that Google places on your website and your search terms. So you might be outbid by your competition. So I mentioned before, you might have the specific term and you're saying, well, we'll spend up to 70 cent per click, because we know that it takes maybe for every 100 people that visit our website, we'll only make a sale out of 1 or 2 of those. And so then we have to pay accordingly. Whereas if we knew that maybe 50% of people who visited our website make a purchase, then we know that we can afford to pay more per click and they're worth more to us. But let's say we set it at 70 cent per click. Then somebody else puts in a similar search term, another company, so campsites in France. So another company could also set up their website to come up, and they might be paying 80 cent per click. That they win the bid, their one will come up above yours, and yours will fall down lower. Yours will only come up if, let's say, if they have paid 80 cent per click, but they have set a maximum budget per day. Only once they've hit that budget, then yours, if you're getting more people searching than they have paid, then yours will only come up after that. So it's a bit of trial and error and working out for your company what's the right budget, what's the right search terms, and it's playing around with it and getting used to doing it. So what is display advertisement? So we've looked at search advertising, or display ad is one that appears on a website other than your own. They are also administered by Google. So the consumer can pay per 1,000 views or impressions, CPM. So per meal, that M is 1,000, or per click. So cost per click. Most companies opt for the latter. So by clicking on the ad, the consumer is brought to the company website. There are many formats, from buttons, columns, full page ads, and so on. So again, sometimes it could be a banner across the bottom. It could be those ones along the side or across the top. So they can be native, where they appear to be part of the website, or they can kind of stand out and be a totally different design. So they can appear on websites, search engine pages, emails, social media pages, or video channels, so YouTube and so on as well. Advantages of this type of advertising: highly visual with videos embedded. They can build brand awareness, whilst paid search reaches an audience with the intention to purchase. Display can cause that initial interest. So they're often good at different times of your campaign and at different stages of your customer journey. So if you're trying to excite interest and get your customer from unawareness to knowledge to liking and so on, along your path. So they can be very targeted, just like before. Once again, detailed data on consumer can be given. And if the company uses cookies, they can use display ads to follow their prospects. So as we talked about earlier. The disadvantages: if they have a lower click-through rate or ratio than search, they have a lower effectiveness, essentially. So people are less likely to click on these than the search. They have lower conversion than paid search. So I don't click on the ad, so I have less opportunity to buy. When users see your ad, your product is not top of their mind, so they're not in the right frame of mind to buy your product. So when they're doing a search, they're actively looking for your type of product, and that's why they result in more conversions. That means not only will people click, but they may follow through and actually purchase something in that same visit. Display advertising is far less likely to result in an actual purchase, but it does happen. And it is, as we said, it can be used at different stages. That's not necessarily the target goal of this type of advertising. So consumers can avoid the ad. So think of the last time you've been on YouTube. There's lots of ads, and you can skip the video ad that's coming at the start of whatever you've clicked to view. So it has that option often. And you can use ad blocking tools that block them completely sometimes. So the major social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, all provide advertising platforms to help you promote your brand or product, and they can be specific to who you want to target. When you advertise on social media platforms, you can tap into the interests and behaviors of your customers. So a person who consistently posts pictures of the garden is likely to want to buy garden equipment and tools and related products. So again, it's tapping into something they're already interested in. So for instance, if you wanted to target people 18 to 35 who go skiing each winter and like to spend on luxury goods, then you could use Facebook to target that group. Facebook will then place your ads in front of people who meet this profile. If you want a high click-through ratio or rate, you should have an engaging headline, powerful image, and razor-tight messaging for your target audience. So again, it's about understanding your people. You can do A/B testing, so you can have two different ads and or more, and you compare them. So there's slightly different style or different headline, and so that allows you to try out what type of thing works better. And A/B testing, it's usually, so it's done at the same time, they're run exactly the same, you're paying the same for them and so on, they're reaching the same cohort of people, roughly speaking, and it allows you then to compare exactly to see what elements worked and what didn't work. And then you stick to what's working, and you change what's not working. So you keep, if the B ad was getting more clicks, then you stop doing whatever was in A that's not in B. So advantages of, for example, Facebook advertising. So it's relatively cheap and therefore accessible. Again, for small companies, it can be quite useful. The cost is subject to results. So if you're advertising on Facebook, on the television, and only two people watch the program, or maybe are sitting there when the ads are on because everybody else who were watching that particular program got up to go to the toilet or make a cup of tea or whatever it is, you're still paying that 2 million quid or whatever to have your ad displayed on that program. With Facebook, you're only paying for the people who click. And so they're only clicking if they're interested. So you can have 7 cents per click on some things if it has a low click rate. So you would pay a lot less per click than you might on the Google search terms. And then you might still, it'll still be worth the money. So for the money that you spend, you might still get similar results, and you can compare what your results from the different aspects that you're doing. Facebook Insights offers in-depth information on who clicks on your ad and is very easy to run. So again, you get a lot more access to information than you in your personal accounts, which just tracks the how many shares and likes and so on of the posts that you have and how many followers. So you can test several ads at the same time. And again, we call it A/B testing, even if you're comparing 5 different ads. So, excuse me, you can generate more followers to your page by advertising. So you can target your ads again very tightly. So in the States, you can target by income and house size. You can put Facebook pixels on your website to monitor those who came from the Facebook ad. So it's just a little bit of code on your website to tell you where they've come from and so on. And quite easy to do. Disadvantages then of this. There's no guarantee on the clicks. Users can find ads annoying. Younger generations have walked away from Facebook as, they find us too many ads. So Facebook is always mired in controversy. We mentioned Cambridge Analytica, Peter Jukes. Took a high-profile case against him on behalf of 1 million people in the UK. As a result of this, consumer data may not be as readily available in the future. Facebook relies 100% on advertising. So obviously users don't pay to have an account. So all the money is coming from the ads and the boosted posts and so on. If their business model is in jeopardy, they might go out of business. For a lot of people, Facebook ads are considered to be like spam. Instagram then, looking at Instagram, fastest growing social media platform, particularly popular with younger target audience, owned again by Facebook, operates off the same advertising platform, so it's mostly cost per click basis, and it also offers strong tracking device called Insights. So a lot of user data on that. Advantages: unlike regular Instagram posts, Instagram ads allow the business to include clickable links to the website. So you instantly, an ad looks different to a normal post. You can include a call to action within the link. So the biggest challenge that companies face on social media is to break through the noise of millions of posts. And when you run an Instagram campaign, you can break through that noise and get access to your target audience, assuming you have creative and relevant posts. So again, you need to be putting content that your customers want to know. Remember, we're only selling things to people that we know we satisfy their needs and wants. And so we should be sticking with that idea and posting stuff, maybe useful information. We shouldn't be always trying to sell stuff to them. If they want to buy from us, they can buy from us, but maybe our post should be about something that is of relevance to them. And if they find us engaging, they will keep following us. They will keep engaging. When an ad pops up, they will engage with it. They will look at it. And then if they are interested someday in buying that type of product, they will come to us. So you set your own budget and duration for the campaign, and you don't need a media expert to book that ad campaign for you. So anybody can figure it out in a short amount of time. Disadvantages: Instagram doesn't allow clickable links in the actual posts. And whilst you can include one in your ad, users are now used to these and may not click on them. So Instagram has limited audience. So remember, it's much lower audience base than Facebook, for example, also lower than LinkedIn. The vast majority are are under 30. Also, if you have a brand aimed at an older group, it's perhaps not the medium for you, unless you know from your research of your target market that your particular target audience is on Facebook. This is more difficult to set up and run a campaign on Instagram. It's part of Facebook, and as such, the days of instant access to your target audience may be over, as collection is marred with controversy, data collection. So again, there are all these lawsuits going on about breaches of data and so on, use of data. So it remains to be seen over the coming years how that's going to go. Twitter then, advantages. Once again, Twitter allows you to narrowly target your ads. You can use keywords or common interests. They have 350 different categories. Or you can use your own CRM, so your own customer relationship management list, to target more precisely. When targeting, you can choose by objective, such as gaining more followers or website clicks or conversions. You can tweet engagements, app installments, and engagement leads. So again, you're only paying per result. If your objective is to gain more followers, you only pay when they click the follow button. There are multiple types of ads. For instance, a promoted tweet where your tweet is pushed into the timelines that match your target audience. Disadvantages: Twitter's analytics are not as user-friendly or in-depth as Facebook's. It's expensive to advertise on Twitter. So it can be up to $200,000 a day for a promoted tweet. As Twitter is a constant flow of information, your ad could be missed. So it appears and poof, it's gone. There's constant other stuff coming. So it can be hard to measure return on investment as you're not sure if the person who clicked on your ad actually purchased. So again, the tracking isn't as good there. Moving on to email marketing. And just bear with me for the final slides. So we've looked at many forms of social media advertising and paid search. So where does email marketing fit in here? So 44% of promotional email recipients purchase products they saw in an email marketing campaign. But customers don't want noise in their inbox. They want calm, targeted solutions. The best email campaigns are driven by content that is relevant, easy to read, and responsive. And we also don't want to bombard our customers with emails. If they feel that they're getting too many, they will feel that they are that their privacy is being breached. So don't inundate people with content that's not relevant. So sometimes if you email or if you buy some kind of product and you have to give an email address to in order to do the business, and then every day they're sending further emails of different offers and so on. And if they're not responding similarly, that can also so once again, you need to tap into person's interests and needs and help them achieve those needs. The content needs to be relevant. Using the hierarchy of information, take the top 3 pieces of content and make them stand out. So don't have huge amounts of information. Just pick something and go with it. You want people to respond to your email, so have an obvious CTA. What is your call to action? Do you want them to go to the website to find out more? Do you want them to follow you on Twitter? So what is the big button, and have it really obvious on your email newsletter. What you're trying to get. Usually email marketing is trying to get them to go through to the website, but what's the landing page? Where in the website do you want them to land, and so on. Advantages: cost effective, so it can be much lower than other forms of marketing. Permission based, so they had to sign up to an email letter, but use that sparingly, as I said. Assumption is that you signed up for my newsletter, so you do want to hear from me. You have a flexible design, many templates to choose from, scalable, so you can reach a very large number of people with a click of a button. No matter how big that email list gets, you're still only designing one newsletter if you're sending the same one to everyone. You can segment your audience. So if you do want, if your emails, your mailing list starts to get really big, then you can start becoming a little bit more targeted within that list and have them grouped into perhaps different segments, and send newsletter A to group 1, newsletter B to group 2, and so on. You can have any number of sub-themes. So more advantages: shareable. It's easy for me to forward an email to someone else. Very immediate. So a person receives an email, they can click on it immediately. They're also relevant at every stage in the buying process, from interest to purchase and post-purchase. You can measure the success of your email campaign by using an analytic program. So again, dropping in a bit of code, and it tracks where they've gone in your website and what they've done once they're there. You can test before you go out with, again, A/B testing. So you can just split your list in half, and random half get the A newsletter and the other half get the B newsletter. and they are less intrusive than a telephone call. These days, a lot of people consider a sales call to be like an invasion of privacy, whereas an email, even if it's slightly annoying one, is just that. It's far less intrusive. Environmentally friendly, no paper involved. Um, if you're not talking about the data centers. They're time efficient. So one email can be sent to 1,000 or 100,000. So again, you're just designing the same newsletter and clicking the same button. You can connect with customers in real time. So you can observe what they're doing once they get it immediately. You can see the bounces, you can see the click-through rate, you can see the purchases resulting from it, and you can communicate to them and so on. You could send a little survey to the people who bounced out and see what happened. Why did they bounce out, for instance? Disadvantages, they can be viewed as spam and go into the junk mail, perhaps. Emails that concern certain words, such as free, automatically sometimes go into your junk mail. You must also design them so they work on various devices, laptop, tablet, mobile. Files need to be small enough that they load quickly, and yet you need to use rich text. So it's kind of a contradictory thing. People expect things to be of high quality, but they don't want it to take a long time to load. You need a combination of skills to run this kind of campaign. You need to have good design skills, copywriting, so that's the actual text that will be included, the message, and the technological skills as well, to be able to drop in that code that we mentioned, or have somebody that you can pass it over to, that they can track the activity once the email goes out. Now, the final topic here is search engine optimization. So saving the best for last. We've talked about SEO before. So what is it? Search engine optimization refers to the process of ensuring your website is high on SERPs. So again, we've mentioned SERPs before, search engine ranking pages. Google, Yahoo, Bing, or other types of search engines. There are others. It's highly complex area, and we're only touching on it. We're not here to um give you an IT degree or anything. So three kinds. There's technical optimization. So checking on your website that everything works from a technology perspective. So you might have found sometimes you've clicked on something, clicked on a page on a particular website, and you get this error 404 message saying page not found, or error with the page. So they're called 404 messages. Another way of doing it so is on-page optimization. So it's everything to do with your actual website. So making sure that the keyword terms that are popular in searches, that those key terms, those exact terms, are used in the description of the things on your website, whatever is relevant. And then there's off-page optimization. And this is all activity to do with your website that happens away from the website. So links on other websites to yours, for example, they're called backlinks and that kind of thing. So off-page optimization refers to techniques used to improve your website's performance on a SERP that are not controlled by you, by how you format your site, but by the popularity of your site and other third-party sites linking to yours. You can't control that they will put a link on their website. As I said before, you can ask, you can try. So the more inbound links, the better. So a link from your website that links to this can include articles and blogs leading to your site, PR that mentions your site, advertising being done off the site. So in other places that'll bring the click through, posts on forums about your sites and directory listings. So advantages of SEO, you'll get more traffic to your site as your website will be visible in the search engines. It encourages a really good discipline. So you have to very carefully monitor and check your website. And every time you add new things, you have to really check how is that going to work with the searching and so on. So a good structure needs to be the structure needs to be good as the content and the design. Anybody can pay to get high in the rankings, but it takes real skill to just get there organically in the natural search without paying to boost it up. So you'll get clicks from people who are looking for exactly what you provide. And a lot of waste then is cut out if you have a good website in that regard. It's a long-term solution and it has long-term results. So just paying attention to how things are worded and how they're designed is going to increase and bring you higher up on that ranking list. Disadvantages, it can take a lot of time, can take a lot of expertise, a lot of trial and error sometimes. The algorithms of the search engines change all the time, so you have to keep up with it. And you can't control the amount of traffic and potential business you'll get. If you rank high, you mightn't be able to keep up with demand. Maybe you're a really small business and suddenly you're getting more than you can, you're getting more orders than you can actually fulfill. And then you'll get bad reviews, and then you may, that may negatively affect your business for a long time. So if you do it really well, competitors, another bad thing is, even if you do it well, your competitors will copy exactly what you're doing and then, will cancel out the benefit that you had. They could copy the keywords that you're using or copy domains and have similar websites and so on. Okay, well, that's the end of that. And so best of luck with it. Thank you.